My name is Heikala. I'm an artist from Finland. I grew up in Oulu, and now I live in Tokyo. I started drawing when I was quite little. I think I was only 5 or 4 years old. I don't even remember when I first started drawing, but I've been drawing as long as I remember. The first time that I started drawing, I don't really know what inspired me, but there have been several things that have inspired me over the years to draw. I think when I learned about Pokemon for the first time, that was really inspiring to me. When I on the first or second grade saw those creatures for the first time, I really started amping up my drawing game. I drew so many tiny Pokemon in my sketchbooks. I was drawing Pokemon from like pictures that I saw. Maybe I had some kind of like a sticker books with Pokemon stickers, or like cards from like card game cards that I had with me, and I kept those as like a model, and then tried to replicate those creatures on my own notebooks. I think so. Before I really got into drawing Pokemon, before that, the things that I drew were mostly like maybe animals or princesses or something like what you would think a child draws. But after I learned about Pokemon and was really into it, then I really started drawing like every day. My favorite Japanese anime is a really hard one to choose. I have like many favorites. At the moment, my favorite Japanese animated movie is この世界の片隅に. I think it came out 4 or 5 years ago, and when I saw it, I just really fell in love with it. I really love the background paintings. Those are something that I really enjoy. The whole style of the movie is like really compelling to me, but also the way it tells a story from like that time period. I think it's like a really good depiction of what happened just at that time. In university, my major was graphic design. I had a lot of different kind of classes. At the first year, I think my studies mainly focused on learning the tools of the trade, and I also had lessons in art history and all sorts of other things. I also had like classes in illustration, maybe some product design, magazine layout, all sorts of things from end to end. Absolutely. I think at least the things I learned about branding and marketing were definitely really beneficial. And the time that I spent in university, I really had the chance to work on my own stuff. That was the time that I really, the first time that I felt that I could maybe make a living doing my own illustrations, my own artworks. And while I was in university, I had all the equipment at hand and all the time after the classes to make my own art, make prints, and all sorts of stuff like screen printing. definitely. During the first years of university, I was really struggling because I felt like I needed to have my own art style. And I felt like I really didn't have one at the time, but everyone else around me felt like they had all like figured it out already. So that was a tough time until I kind of figured out that I don't need to have like a distinct style, or once I stopped looking for a style for myself, I kind of just focused on improving on separate aspects of my work, like drawing backgrounds or focusing on live drawing or stuff like that. Then my style kind of grew on its own. I kind of have always been encouraged by my family to pursue on like any profession that I liked. So I had like free reign to do whatever I wanted. So when I was in elementary school, I went into like art like really heavily. When I was on second grade in elementary school, I went to like an art-focused class in my hometown, and after that I had been like always going to art-focused schools. Or when I was 16, I moved away from home to Helsinki by myself so that I could go to like an art high school. So I always had like an inkling that maybe art is something that I want to make for a living, but I didn't really know until university what it really was. I was in high school, I thought I wanted to be an art teacher because I had had so many nice art teachers in my life who were encouraging. But then I figured out that I'm not really good at teaching, and I applied for like a graphic design school and went to the entrance exams, and there I kind of like figured out on the spot, this is the place that I'm supposed to be at, and decided that I will go study here. Definitely. I think still in university, when I was not working like under my own company, it felt more freeing to do art. I feel like after I had made my company and started making art full time, and definitely after hiring my first employees to run my shop, it has felt a bit more like a job, and not only because I don't only have time to do art for myself. I need to also think about other things, not only art, like writing to emails and designing products and keeping tabs on everything. So it's kind of a different kind of aspect of my work. Not really. I still feel like I love making art, and whenever I have time to make art, it's the thing that I really love. But there's also other things that I need to do now. Yeah, absolutely. I of course feel the same kind of pressure that any artist that is working this day, where all of like social media defines a lot how our work is perceived and how well it performs. So that is something that I don't really like show it affects me, but I do keep up with everything, and I know what's happening in the world, and it might give me some kind of anxiety at times. But I also always try to remind myself that even if I didn't have everything that I have, like a company and stuff like that, even if there was no longer like if I was like the only person in the world, I think I still would be making art just for myself. I enjoy playing a lot of video games, watching movies and TV series. I also do a lot of cooking, which I really enjoy. Whenever I'm in the kitchen, I just feel refreshed and feel like when I have like a menial tasks in front of me, like chopping carrots or sauteing onions, it feels like it's a nice feeling. You don't have to think about anything else but making like nice food. But I also really have been, like 2 years now, I've been really into gardening. It's a bit more challenging to do in Tokyo, but gardening is something that I'm hoping to also keep as a hobby in the future. Well, I think I have always used traditional mediums, even when I was in elementary school, and as a child, of course, I used traditional mediums. There were no drawing tablets at the time, but I kind of never took I had a drawing tablet at some point, but I really never got used to drawing digitally, so I have always stayed in the traditional mediums. I got my first set of professional quality watercolors, St. Petersburg watercolors, from my art teacher, and that's kind of like stuck with me, the generosity of giving me watercolors, and kind of pushed me to learn using them really well, and that's why I choose watercolors as my medium initially. The perks. I'm not sure if there are any perks in using traditional mediums. There are, I think all of the things that you can do with traditional mediums you can also do really well digitally, but I just really love the feeling of having a traditional piece of art, like having something come alive physically in the world to the paper, if you know what I mean. I just really love the feeling of finishing a painting, removing the tape and storing it somewhere safe. It feels, I need that the tangible feedback, if you know what I'm saying. I can definitely say that the biggest influences that I have are Tove Jansson, the creator of the Moomin comic books and the characters. I just really love her artworks, like paintings and her illustrations. So those have been a huge inspiration to me over the years. I have also recently been into some fine artists for the work that I did for the Emma. I checked out influence from other Finnish fine oil painting artists, but I also like to keep up with contemporary artists, of course. On the Japanese side, I really love the works of Studio Ghibli. All the movies I have watched, and I think they, if they don't stylistically impact me, at least thematically, in many ways. I'm not really afraid of making mistakes, because I know that there's always a way to hide them somehow. If I make a mistake, I know that I can use opaque paints to hide it, the same way that you use an eraser tool in digital software. So I'm not really afraid of the mistakes, and for people who like to try analog painting, maybe go with some kind of tool that has this option that you can reverse your mistakes. But I also sometimes just like to embrace the mistakes. I think my illustrations have definitely changed over the years. I only started doing illustrations with full backgrounds maybe in 2015, 2016, I'm not sure. Before that, I did mostly paintings that had character focused things, maybe a character on a white background or stuff like that. But I kind of took it as a challenge to learn how to make backgrounds, and I really began to love making backgrounds, and it's something that I really enjoy now. I think it's something that naturally came to me. I have always maybe, or sometimes I think about things that I am not good at, that maybe some other artists are really good at, and think about the ways I could improve my craft. So when I think about the things that I rarely do, like maybe at that time backgrounds, I thought that maybe I should learn how to make it, and then I went ahead and now I know how to make them. But at the moment I feel there are still many things that I am not definitely good at, like drawing cars or mecha or like many things. But I kind of pick and choose the things that I'm like super interested in drawing and incorporate learning those into my workflow. Like I really like artworks that have nice lighting effect, and I think lighting and shadows are something that I'm still learning to do consistently the way that I would like to portray them. So I'm still trying to learn that. I try to sketch as much as I can, but there are many things that help me improve my own works. Just watching how other artists have visually discovered how to portray something, I might incorporate that into my work. I can see that, oh, okay, the light is coming from that angle, and maybe I could also try doing it like that, and kind of not only sketching from still life, but also seeing how other people have learned from still life and from others. I think for me, practicing is one of those things that comes kind of maybe naturally, because it's not something that I need to ever share with my viewers. It's something that I can keep to myself. So it also, for me, is kind of freeing to learn something new, because I don't have the pressure to show it to anyone if I don't have to. But when I'm making a whole new painting artwork, like a whole new illustration, when I take a lot of time doing that, maybe even 10 or 20 hours, then I have that pressure. Okay, I need to show in this painting what I'm good at, so that it looks great, so that I can share it. But when I'm only working on improving my own skill, then I can do what I want, and it feels freeing to me.